Taiwan grows only 32% of its own food. To become more self-sufficient, the government hopes to raise that figure to 40% by the year 2020. However, a controversial plan to build an artificial lake on good farmland in Meinong in the south of Taiwan seems to go against the idea. In the latest in our series of in-depth features from the Meinong area of Kaohsiung County, we asked the wise local farmers what they think of the plan.
Here in South Taiwan for over 80 years, Shuixian Temple has quietly looked over the mouth of the Guishan irrigation channel in Meinong of Kaohsiung County. The Chinese couplets on the temple pillars echo the importance of water to the fields and the respect farmers have for their water supply.
He is watching over the water supply, protecting it for the people who farm the land.
When they have time, farmer Xiao Dehua and his wife come to pay their respects to the land god and thank him for giving the fields of Meinong a supply of water. Channeling water into the paddy, the farmer says the rice plants are like his children. Xiao Dehua grew up here and has a special relationship with the land.
Farm the fields, don't leave them, don't leave this place. When we water them, it's like looking after children.
With over 40 years of farming experience, Xiao Dehua and his wife often patrol the fields, scaring away sparrows. They carefully water the paddy on average once every 5 days, making sure the field does not get too little or too much.
Of course, water is important to farmers. Without water, we would die.
Laughing wryly, Xiao Dehua says he relies on the elements and his own bare hands to make a living from the land.
This mulberry tree is already over 10 years old. In April and May, its fruit ripens. Like we can see, the darker mulberry are ready to eat and very sweet. In this orchard, we can find lots of weeds because the owner, Mr. Gu, insists on growing organically and respecting nature.
The wax apples Mrs. Gu is wrapping in protective bags will soon be ready for picking. Meanwhile, in retirement, Mr. Gu has other interests. The old farmer is an avid reader.
I read electrically, I read anything. I have a lot of books that you can't buy in stores.
The piles of books are Mr. Gu's spiritual nourishment.
What I'm reading now is the history of bananas all over the world.
Mr. Gu started by growing tobacco, then switched to bananas until he retired. Replacing his spade with a book, although he no longer farms, Mr. Gu is still passionate about the land where he was born and bred. Mature carrots lie outside, giving off a pleasant smell as they dry in the sun.
When I was little in this land, springs of water would naturally come up by themselves all over the place. We didn't need to take bottled water with us wherever we went. We could go to any ditch and take up the water like this to drink.
Once again, the environment pays the price for economic development. This farmland is scheduled to make way for the Guishan artificial lake.
I was born a farmer. I have a very rich and deep relationship with this land. To dig up such good land and use it to store water in an artificial lake is a real shame.
If construction goes ahead, the rural scenery will change dramatically. Mr. Gu is not only sad to see the fields go.
I'm worried about lots of things. Nature will be destroyed. The grass, trees, and animals will all disappear. In the end, the ones who suffer will be us people.
come rain, wind or shine, farmers will never stop working the land. Perhaps the planners of the artificial lake should take a leaf out of the farmer's book and humbly follow nature's ways.